Hello, this is DarkElf85 on YouTube, or HektontheMage's on PSN, and welcome back to Star Trek. My checklist with me, so I ended up leaving both set of keys that I had and the mailbox key in a drawer, and I locked the apartment because I'm like, why would I leave the apartment unlocked? Turns out, they wanted you to leave the apartment unlocked and have the keys on the counter, which I'm like, yes, so anyone can come in and steal the keys. Gotcha. What the fuck? I'm like, I'm sorry, yes, it's a small town living, but come on now. Let's be realistic here. Also, apparently I'm supposed to take a picture. That wasn't on the checklist. So I don't know what the person was saying about that. But apparently, so I called today, mentioning about, how I'm leaving, I left, and, I'm following up, and, I was saying, like, I sent a message through the contact us in the portal area, the residential online portal, a month ago. Apparently I didn't get one. And I was just like, what? Like, mentally, I'm just like, I'm pretty sure I did it. So, one of my colleagues was telling me to, like, don't let them bully me into it. Because, like, they obviously got it. I don't know what. I'm so confused. I'm like, don't make me get confused that I didn't do it. Like, I'm pretty sure I did. Like, why would I not? I mean, I even put in, and I remember putting in the forwarding address, even though I didn't want them to know where I was moving to. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure I did it. I was wondering why they never messaged me. I mean, that's the reason that they're saying, but who knows? So, and then they're like, and the person was like, oh yeah, so, girl, that you're breaking your contract, so that's going to be 3 months of pay. And I'm thinking, she asked what was the reason for leaving. I'm like, because there's been cockroaches ever since I moved in. You did 3 fumigations and it didn't matter. And she was like, I'm sorry about that. I'm like, yeah, so why are you charging me for living in a crap hole? So yeah, that's really bothersome. Like, I did the math, and without taxes, which there's going to be taxes, it comes to over $2,000. And I'm like, no, I don't want to pay that. I shouldn't have to pay that when you never fixed a major issue of why I wanted to leave. If that wasn't an issue, I probably would stay until my contract ended, and I would have looked for a place. I don't know. But that was a major thing. There were other issues, but I mean, that'd be the major one. No, that's like the only one. I mean, everything else I could have dealt with. It was fine. It was the cockroaches. That's what made me. There was also the smell, but it was mainly the cockroaches. That's what made me not want to stay there. So yeah, it's a circle game, Dark. Jeez. Can you? Oh yeah. Hey, she wasn't in that scene yet. But yeah, it was really annoying. She's like, I'll pass it along. Maybe someone else got the message. I'm like, well, I hope so, because I know I did it. I'm not telling you off front, Like, I had on there June 1st. I'm just like, I don't get it. Anywho, let's continue playing and try to calm down. Well, I will try to calm down. This makes me never want to run from that. I'm like, tell people don't go with that company. I have to tell my student not to mess with it. The price of duty.
Carter. I'm okay. But that's a lot. Here, let me help you.
Oh, fuck, I forgot to do all this crap. Remove it. Why are we not removing? Oh, it's R2. Jesus. I swear.
Medical. We've got one wounded at my location. Millie.
Oh, man.
We'll see you at sickbay.
I thought not arguing would have made it quicker. Nope. The fact that I saw the trophies, one of us has to get hit. That just annoys me.
Status report.
Yeah.
The repair crew made it inside. EPS flow is back to nominal levels. The SIF is back up.
How does this affect mission readiness, Mr. Ermot?
Releasing the docking clamps using hull polarity minimized damage to the Resolute. We'll have some last-minute repairs to make, but if we reapportion some of the staff, we can make our departure on time. As of now, however, we are successfully moored to the station.
Good to hear. Send updates to my ready room. Commander Rydek, with me.
You asshole! Why did you do that? Here it comes. Don't shake your head at me, motherfucker.
You disobeyed my orders. Well?
I'll say I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for that, Captain. I did what I thought was...
You disobeyed my orders!
Was that lightning
Not just
strike?
in front of the bridge crew, but the starbase staff as well. That's going to get around. My name's already tarnished around the fleet. But what is it going to do to my credibility on this ship? From the top to the bottom. Bridge to lower decks.
Captain, I told you I'd be honest, so here it is. Maybe I shouldn't have disobeyed a direct order.
Mixed feelings.
But you were wrong. You weren't on board, and you didn't have all the information. So I made the right decision.
What was I
for the
supposed to
ship.
say at the start?
If you're worried about your credibility, put your ego aside and trust your crew. Trust me.
You might have won some fans on the bridge with that stunt, but not everyone. Lieutenant Commander Chovak has already bent my ear.
I'm sure he doesn't take it personally. He'll get over it in time.
Mr. Chovak is more complicated than he would want to admit. I guess we all are. And, if I'm being honest, I'm not sure what I would have done in the moment either. You never really know if you weren't in those shoes. So, let's just boil it down to, you did what you had to. That'll have to be good enough for me.
Thank you for understanding, sir. I'm sure no one knows the burden of command as well as you do.
I'm sure you will, someday. Despite it all, we got our final Starfleet clearance to depart. So if you'll...
Captain, is it Solano? Yeah. No. I swear, the text is so blah. Captain Solano still had misgivings about his orders being defiled. Defiled? Wow. That makes no sense. About his orders being defied, but remained willing to place his trust in his new first officer to live up to expectations. Oh, first officer's capitalized? Oh, crap. Okay, they did not okay, that's funny. When I was putting the previous video together on YouTube in a playlist, when I was looking up information for putting in the description that, you know, not everyone reads, I don't think places had first officer capitalized, but they had petty officer capitalized, which is fascinating. I mean, granted, petty officer is a legitimate... Isn't first officer legitimate? It was confusing, because I was like, why is she first officer when she's also a commander? Not commander. Yeah, commander. So, maybe first officer is just the level of the different sections in that area. I don't really know. I don't know anything. I don't know what they're basing their levels off of. I assume certain military groups, but I have no idea. Because I don't know anything about military. But anywho, yeah, I didn't know first officer is capitalized. I have to change that if I remember. I can do that tomorrow when I update this session onto my playlist. Anywho.
Fetch Mr. Ermot. knock out the final details of any outstanding repairs, and we'll set out for Hotaku.
Yes, sir.
Next scene. Next episode. All I ask is a tall ship. Okay.
All departments reporting full mission readiness.
Would she shake her head if I have them get hurt more? I don't
We've
know.
got our full complement on board.
This is my favorite moment, right now.
The start of a new mission is always full of possibility.
Especially when engineers get hurt.
It's a drug.
Don't let the Admiralty hear you say that.
Captain on the bridge.
Captain on the bridge. Sorry.
Sit.
Thinking of a
Sit,
certain
everyone.
Warcraft. Warcraft 2 to be specific.
You all know, I'm not big on speeches. We're embarking on the
those.
first mission since our refit. Let's make it a good one.
Even though we have one engineer down. Or wounded.
Docking clamps released.
Thrusters ahead, Mr. Handar.
Sorry. Getting excited. The music's making me excited. I'm gonna do a warp. Do warp drive or whatever the current warp thing is. Oh no, it has to be warp drive, right? Because
Prepare to go to warp 8.
Aye, Captain.
yeah.
You know what? You take this one.
Me?
Engage.
Engage.
Hell yeah. Do it. Make way. Pew! Ching!
Simple, but effective.
Oh.
Easy. Thank you. I'm fine. Really,
You don't look so good.
I have to get to sickbay.
Go.
Oh god. Do I have to walk there? Fuck me. Ooh, shit.
Commander, help me get her inside.
Oh shit, yeah. So is that everyone of her species has this thing? Because that's effed up. But that's quick. How does it change so fast?
Well, that was quite a scare.
That's what I want to know.
A few minutes more and it would have been one of the shortest tenures on record for a first officer.
Holy crap.
Is that the engineer that was out on the hull?
That storm did a real number on her, but she'll live. Just needs rest. You should worry about yourself. Your deridium levels got dangerously low and destabilized your cell structure.
This is definitely one of the more memorable first days I can think of.
My name is Dr. Aram Duval, Chief Medical Officer. To be honest, I've never met a Kobliad before. You're...
Rare. I know.
I was going to say special. Your people's numbers have dwindled, despite the Federation's efforts to find a more readily available alternative to the deridium you need to survive. Yet you joined Starfleet, and manage to thrive. I imagine the responsibility must be overwhelming. Maybe even a burden at times.
That's who I am.
I know what it means. And I know the responsibility that comes with it. But I can't be anything more than who I am. And if someone has a problem with that, or expects something else, then that's their problem, not mine.
That's exactly right. And don't worry, I won't treat you like a science experiment. I just do the science and leave the experiments to Solano.
You don't agree with his methods?
I don't agree with his definition of acceptable risks. Not when the lives of your crew are at stake. My professional opinion is that the accident took a toll. More than he's willing to admit. He's overstressed, operating in the pressure cooker of his own mind. Which is never a good headspace in the lives of your crew are at stake.
Sparks. That's not the right word.
Concerns me is that now he's even further away from the thing he's been chasing his entire career. The breakthrough discovery. The major innovation. Something he can put his name on. But the more the time passes and the further out of reach it gets, the more risk he'll be willing to take.
Oh god, I don't know. I'm gonna say that.
Become blinded by their own ambition.
I hear you. But that's my job, isn't it? To make sure that doesn't happen. And we don't lose sight of the bigger picture.
Which is exactly why I'm so glad you're here. We need you now more than ever. And I have to give you credit for
Heck yeah!
on the bridge. It took guts to defy a direct order.
Huh. I guess word travels fast around here.
It's a small ship.
We're gossipers.
I'm curious about the new XO.
We're effing gossipers. Like everyone else. Like every other freaking game. Or movie or whatever. Jesus. Dr. Duvall was impressed by Jara's sense of responsibility to the crew and was encouraged to see her thinking independently when she defied Captain Solano's orders.
Fortunately, your cell structure is almost completely stabilized. And I'll spare us both the lecture, but I do feel it's my responsibility to remind you, without regular infusions of Duridium, you will not live. It's as simple as that.
Understood.
Then, my work here is done.
Lieutenant Bedrosian.
I came to see if you were okay. We were all pretty worried on the bridge. No one knew what was happening.
I can't even imagine what it must have looked like. I don't want people to get the wrong impression.
No, not at all. You don't have to feel embarrassed. Everyone understands this is part of what it means to be Kobliad. You trusted me earlier with the shields, and I appreciated that. I want you to know that I have your back.
Thank you.
Wait! Oh, well, okay. Handsome. Saw a picture of the voice actor. They only did, I forget what it said that he did.
And this shuttle will be cleared for service.
Yes, sir.
Storm in the Hotari region will interfere with our
I'm
transport.
gonna have to do something, goddammit.
We need all available shuttlecraft in working order.
Really just boop boop boop. It didn't even look like he touched it with a finger. His whole hand.
Excuse me, Commander Jara.
Petty Officer Maris,
Where's
I will leave you to your work.
what is she part? Which area is she part of?
I stopped by sickbay and saw Nui. I figured you'd want to know.
I'll just blame myself.
It's my fault she's in there. I should have made her go first.
Maybe, but I wouldn't want to see you hurt like that any more than her. Dr. Duvall said she'll be back on duty soon, though.
Come on. I have to run the final diagnostic.
Belleville.
I can't stay long. I've got a long to-do list before we get to Hotari, and things are piling on faster than I can check them off. We're making all our last-minute checks and security, too. Tactical and security are short-staffed.
Well, nothing's ever 100%. But we'll be good to go.
And if you wait until you are ready, it's probably too late. Which is why I didn't want to wait for just the right time. I had a chance to think about this while I was away. Then you and Millie almost got killed out on the hull. And I thought it was important that I just come out and tell you. Instead of tiptoeing around it. Or worse.
Did I do something wrong?
Are you angry at me or something?
I'm gonna play that card.
Sorry. I'm probably making too big of a deal here. What I'm trying to say is, we've been really good friends for a long time.
This music's really
I got
loud.
back here and I couldn't ignore it anymore. I want to see if there's more between us than just being friends.
Are you sure?
Are you sure about this?
They're my feelings. Of course I'm sure.
I don't know, I'm never sure with my feelings, but that's me. That's dark.
Which is why I'm being direct. I like you, Carter. And I think there could be something more for us.
Better as friends.
So, what do you say?
Let's give it a try.
I like you too, Miranda. And I'd like to see where this goes.
It'd be so awkward if I said X. I think we should just remain friends. She goes with a red border. First red.
I'd call it a chemistry experiment. You know, with us.
Inquiring minds are gonna want to know about this, so... Do you tell Millie, or do I?
I wouldn't worry about that.
Is she right here behind us?
Level 1 diagnostic complete.
I have to get back to that to-do list.
Oh.
They're probably looking for me.
Can't blame them.
I fell in love with the ginger.
I'll be seeing you.
I like her freckles. I can't speak right now. Jeez. I'm trying to get off of being annoyed about my apartment. So annoying. Cast adrift.
Approaching the rendezvous.
That was
point
awkward.
Outside Atari space.
Helm, bring us out of warp.
Dropping to impulse.
Ionic interference surging, Captain.
Yay, androids.
Integrity holding. We can take it.
Android.
We are the correct...
Asteroids. Oh my gosh, that is what I meant to say, folks. Androids. Oh gosh.
ordinance to meet the
Commander Rydek, find us our diplomat, if you will.
Aye, Captain. Let's
Wait.
reduce the noise. Filter out environmental signals. I can manually tune what's left for Federation signal types.
What am I doing? What the fudge?
I've located the shuttle.
Opening
What?
comms.
On
How does
screen.
that work? Oh,
Shuttle
lovely.
to Resolute. Shuttle to Resolute. Debris field. Lost maneuvering.
Well, that's not good.
Losing.
I can't get it any clearer. Won't get a transporter lock. It's just not happening.
Power up the tractor beam. We'll pull them directly into the docking bay.
Diaz, you good to run the tractor emitter?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Come on, Diaz.
Not if the player has anything to say about it. He might F
First
up.
thing, lock onto the shuttle and stabilize the rotation.
How the fuck do I do that? Really? I thought it'd be a lot more difficult.
We're pulling in debris.
I'm on it.
Why did I have to do that one and not the other one? Fuck! I was so frustrated, it didn't allow me to do it. That's what happened.
It's gonna take out the shuttle. Here's the bridge. There's a large piece of debris headed for the shuttle.
So I was trying to do that second one. You saw me, right? It wouldn't lock on that. I had to do it in a specific order, apparently. It's messed up.
The tractor beam can't handle it.
Can our shields take it?
I believe so.
Commander Rydek, plot an intercept course.
On it.
What the fudge? Game.
Here we go. Maneuvering thrusters bearing 53 Mark 17. 200 meters on an intercept course.
Maneuvering.
Got it.
Whoa! Someone's working hard on the bridge.
Because apparently I suck. Because the game sucked. Let's be real. What is this? That was annoying. I'm annoyed by it. Seriously, I was just going in order. But no, they're like, no, we got to do this other one first. Sherlock's gonna be mad with me.
Shuttlecraft on board.
Good job. We're on our way down to meet them.
Sherlock's gonna be like, you a-hole.
Terra firma, so to speak.
Ambassador Spock.
They allow me to walk up towards him?
The captain will be right down to meet you, sir.
In that case, I will wait for him here.
Apologies for the landing, Ambassador. I was operating the tractor beam, sir. I take responsibility.
It was not the smoothest transit, but you got us here safely. That is what matters. We thought we were prepared for our arrival in Hotari space.
And I did double check, yeah,
my craft was not sufficiently robust for such
Leonard Nimoy
intense
did
ionic activity.
die before this. Someone else was voicing him.
An element
Or
that
Spock.
was most unusual.
Yeah.
Before you came to our aid, our maneuvering thrusters and impulse engines were rendered inoperable. So we attempted a short traversal at warp speed, only to find that we could not achieve warp at all.
Whoa.
Even though our diagnostics computer showed no faults or anomalies. What do you make of that? When all indications say that warp speed is possible, but in practice, we find it is not.
Well, this storm is one of the strangest phenomena we've ever encountered. It's disrupted other systems. Who knows what it might do to a warp drive?
Yes, it would seem further investigation is called for.
Take readings, run some additional diagnostic checks, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
Psychological. Petty Officer...
Carter Diaz. Sir.
Thank you.
Ambassador Spock.
Like, that's my wet dream. I got to talk with Ambassador
I'm honored
Spock.
to have you aboard. I'd like to get right to it. We're already behind.
Even though I have technically a girlfriend now, but But, no. A provocation to war. Uh-oh. This episode doesn't seem like it will be great.
Ambassador Spock, my senior staff.
He doesn't recognize me?
It's not every day that a captain gets to welcome a Starfleet legend aboard.
You flatter me, Captain Solano. But legend implies the past tense, whereas I am very much focused on our present circumstances.
I don't mean to suggest you were stuck in the past.
Or dead, sir.
You're right, Ambassador. Not the most diplomatic choice of words.
Your experience comes from the past. But our present situation calls for it.
True enough.
We were hoping you could fill us in on the details. We got the basics from Starfleet. 2 formerly peaceful neighbors are now on the brink of war.
Indeed. And the tension between them grows fiercer by the hour.
Oh, I should also mention when I was double-checking stuff, when I was saying this is kind of like a Telltale Heart game. No, Telltale game? Telltale Heart, sorry. One of the better poems or stories? Poems from one of my favorite authors. But anyway, people who are on this team were from the Telltale Games series. That's what I meant. I was trying to say. That's why I was kind of correct in assuming that's similar to it, but that's because of some of the people.
Lydia and Hotari. The Lydians are the more advanced species. They made first contact with the Hotari over a century ago. This is Tau, the Hotari moon. It is rich in dilithium, and for decades, the Hotari and the Illydians have shared a mining operation there. The Illydians provide the technological resources, while the Hotari have served as the labor force. The stability of that arrangement was the source of their peace, until recently. The Hotari have suddenly, forcefully seized control of the mining operations and expelled the Illydians from their system. That is the official story, as told by the Hotari when they requested Federation mediation. The details remain scant. Communications between all parties have been limited by the ionic interference.
Have the Illydians retaliated against the Hotari? Or taken any action against them?
Surprisingly, they have not yet responded in kind. They were open to a Federation presence, but it is unlikely the relatively primitive Hotari forces would stand a chance against the Illydian fleet in open war. Left unchecked, this conflict will result in more bloodshed, which is what we are here to prevent.
Mower. I apologize.
Clearly the Hotari
Someone's mowing
have been
outside.
exploited in this relationship.
Maybe we can persuade them peace is the more profitable alternative for everyone. They both profited from the mines. And for the Hotari, something is better than nothing. Peace is our objective.
I don't know! They'd still be exploited, is what I'm going to probably go with.
After all, that is correct.
Oh, they don't want peace, never mind.
The Hotari just won their independence. It's hard to believe they would give that up just for profit.
I agree. It would be exceedingly difficult to bring the Hotari to that position.
Neither the Illydians or the Hotari are members of the Federation, so we can't make them do anything.
There is an additional complicating factor I should mention.
Uh-oh.
In the past, the Federation has relied on the Illydians as a source of dilithium.
Oh, no.
That certainly changes things.
Federation sources its dilithium from a lot of places.
Yeah, and this is one of them.
We won't be trusted.
That means the Hotari have no reason to trust us.
I wouldn't go that far, Commander.
We are completely neutral in this matter, on neither one side nor the other. Any suggestion otherwise would compromise our position.
Okay.
Given the Federation's
Hey!
the Iridium dilithium trade, Captain Solano and I must make every effort to appear neutral in these negotiations.
What worries me is if this whole thing unravels, and we're at the mercy of the storm at less than full strength.
We can't let it come to that.
Considering what the ion storm has done to our ship, and the Ambassador's shuttle, we have to assume the Elydian fleet has had problems with it as well. This recent surge in the energy disturbance temporarily levels the playing field.
Commander Westbrook is correct. The energy anomalies around the Hotari systems have been noted in the past. But they have never been observed on the orders of magnitude we have seen in recent weeks.
If it's keeping the two sides talking instead of shooting at each other, that actually helps us negotiate a peace.
And we'll take advantage of that as long as it works in our favor.
And when it doesn't?
All the more reason to
Pew,
learn
pew.
as much about it as we can while we are here. We do not want to be caught unprepared, should the energy anomaly continue to fluctuate.
True.
So I trust we understand our circumstances.
We're operating on
Oh,
strict
shit.
timetable here, and we're going to be leaving for the negotiations shortly. Commander Westbrook, I want you to leverage our systems to investigate the anomaly from here while we're gone.
Aye, Captain.
Thank you all.
Dismissed.
I want to speak to both of you privately.
Ambassador Spock, I'd like to make a formal introduction. My first officer.
Dude, that one's not capitalized.
Commander.
I guess just in general, first officer, so maybe I'm right.
Limits to what Captain Solano and I can do in our official capacity as representatives of the Federation. But someone in an unofficial capacity, your first officer, for example, would not be bound by those restrictions.
When it's when it's a
Commander
particular
Rydek
person
could
or title that
ingratiate
capitalizes.
himself to certain parties behind the scenes, where they may be more candid in revealing information that could lead to a...
Oh!
She certainly goes her own way. Maybe that helps in this case.
Fuck that off.
It would be unconventional.
I'm honored to be included in the negotiation process.
You're not just included, you are instrumental.
Well, I hope Commander Rydek will have more luck.
Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't been clicking on... Fudge. I meant to read this. I screwed up. I don't know if it's going to go... It won't go back. Where is he? There he is. Ambassador Spock knows Jara's keen intellect and unique insight into the dynamics of the Hotari-Elydian conflict during the mission briefing. Ambassador Spock also noticed Jara's humility when presented with her back-channel mission.
Finding out what really happened than we will through official diplomatic channels.
The fate of the negotiations, the interests of the Federation, and the prospect for peace may very well depend on it.
Brr, brr, brr. Next time on Star Trek Resurgence. Come on, game. Stop being weird. Navigational complexities. Uh-oh. Multiple types of navigation now. Oh, he's going to be mad at me.
Mr. Diaz, I understand you have already discussed the warp drive failure with Ambassador Spock?
Yep.
It is imperative that the Ambassador's shuttle be flight ready.
Okay.
I need you both to ascertain the root cause of the system failures he encountered.
I'm surprised, Commander. I thought you would have wanted to work on Ambassador Spock's shuttle yourself.
I respect the Ambassador and his many accomplishments, but I do not derive any satisfaction from interacting with his shuttle as if it were somehow transubstantiated through its association with it. Especially when I have the entirety of this starship to concern myself with. I am not the chief engineer of this shuttlecraft.
The Ambassador asked me to take a look, and I'm ready to crack this thing open.
Good. You could learn from Mr. Diaz's focus.
Oh, shut the fuck
I'll take notes.
Then I will leave you to it. Make note of any abnormalities in your report. Carry on.
I wanted to say something, but it would be bad. Hey, I made him happy. Okay, good.
Chova.
I wanted to say something, but it would have been inappropriate. Okay, where is he? Lieutenant Commander Trovak did not approve... No. Oh, sorry, wrong person. Oh, Miranda was thrilled to learn Carter's feelings for her, leaned toward the romantic, and she looks forward to seeing where this relationship might go. Despite her words to the contrary, Edisler was still somewhat surprised after Carter put his own safety ahead of her own out on the hole. Motherfucker, you said... Oh, fuck you. Lieutenant Commander Trovak approved of Carter's eagerness to work on Ambassador Spock's shuttle. I don't want to suck his dick, but you can suck his dick. That's kind of where I was going with that earlier.
I was the only person who didn't look at this and treat me like I was something to pity. Doc says I should get used to it. Doesn't mean I want to be reminded of it every minute of the day.
Hey, you won't get pity from me. I think it makes you look tough. As tough as you really are, that is.
And that makes you sound pretty smart. I might need you to save me from myself next time, though. Come on. Let's get to the bottom of this.
No, she didn't like that. She wanted me to say I'm sorry to her. God damn it. I wanted to, but at the same time I thought maybe people would rather... Why does it pop to that person when it's not that person's turn? Etzler thought Carter was clever in his approach to appeasing her anger over his going first on the hole.
You go?
All set. Let's run the diagnostic.
Boop boop. Boop 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 boop. I'm sorry. Okay, that's boop boop. Hit.
So,
Grayson.
I know about your talk with Miranda.
Oh gosh darn it, this chip.
You do?
She sent me a Priority 1 dispatch right after your conversation.
Priority 1 dispatch.
I'm happy for you. Both of you.
Thanks.
But I'm only going to tell you this once.
Uh-oh.
Don't screw this up. Because I would be very unhappy if you tried this out and then, I don't know, 6 weeks or 6 days later, I have to start splitting holidays between the two of you. All because things went south and you're not on speaking terms. That just isn't gonna work for me.
Have some faith.
You really don't believe in me, huh?
It's not you. Or her. Just running the numbers, and things don't work out more often than they do. I like my friends, and I like our group. I don't want to lose that. Is that thing done?
Yeah, it's wrapping up. Let's see. The relays along the primary EPS are blown. The backup relays are all intact.
An EPS overload from the warp drive could cause
Well, that's the data recorder green.
End up dead in the water.
Huh. Well, maybe the ship's
Oh,
data
that's
recorder
why.
can tell us something.
I was wondering. Boop boop. Hey, I get to boop boop it.
Here.
Oh, okay.
They were only about 8 minutes from their plotted warp point. No faults, just those warnings. What are they?
Boop boop.
Subspace variance out of tolerance. What does that mean?
It means the main navigation array lost sight of space somehow.
Will the array going offline cause that?
Yes, but it should have also thrown a fault code.
Boop boop.
The warp field became inverted suddenly.
I've seen this happen when the center warp coil cracks.
A cracked warp coil throws a fault code.
Still, we should take a look.
Boop boop.
There was a complete warp cascade failure.
Wow. They're lucky the shuttle didn't turn inside out.
Makes me think the
Oh my
computer
goodness.
panicked on the warp field equation.
Any one of these failures should have thrown a fault.
If it was caused by a system failure.
None of this caused the relays to blow. Roll forward to when that happened.
Yes, ma'am.
So here, they take a
I wanna
moment
go
to get
backwards.
their bearings, and they attempt to re-engage the warp drive.
There. That's the relays blowing.
Oh, I can't go back.
And look, there's another warp system alert.
Maybe they just didn't pay attention to the warp
They're all
system
the same.
alerts.
Subspace variants out of tolerance, or warp inversions. Finally, there's a complete warp cascade failure.
Then it's one of two things. Either a warp coil is cracked, or the navigation array is offline.
That makes sense.
Divide and conquer. You want to check the warp coils or the navigation array? I'll check the other. It's not
Let's do warp
one of
coils.
these systems is likely broken.
I'll check the nacelles for a cracked coil.
So how do I do this? Your tricorder can record and analyze data. Looking through it will reveal the unseen. Use square to equip or holster your tricorder. Hold R2 to scan glowing objects. You must be close to some objects to scan them. Watch the frame of the screen to see if you are too far away. Alright. So, boop boop. Alright. Okay. Wait. Wasn't there a green? Isn't green... Am I actually scanning? Okay, just flashes random. Oh. Scan you. Okay, do I have to hold it? They said I hold it, right? This is annoying. Oh! Okay. Deep scan. Some objects you scan will activate a deep scan. During a deep scan, use L1 and R1 to switch between different scan modes and search for glowing objects. The mode indicators on the tricorder will blink if there is an object to find in that mode. When you have scanned all objects, the frame will change color. Hold L2 to analyze the data and finish the scan. Oh boy. Oh boy. The cinecoils guide the warp field through its focal event, maintaining a collimated thrust vector, no fractures. How do I move that? Oh, okay. Direction buttons. No fractures detected. Alright. Let's look at radiation. In their standby state, warp coils produce a residual electromagnetic field. No deviations detected. Alright. I don't know if there's a biological factor. I don't see a biological. Oh, there's something else? For any depositions. The leading coils show evidence of routine maintenance to repair microabrasion from neutrino interactions.
I checked every coil on the port nacelle for imbalances. If any coil in either engine were cracked, I would have detected it.
Also too.
It must be the navigation array.
Except it's not. Checked and double-checked.
Well, the readings don't lie.
Here comes the security detail for the way team.
Hey.
I'm not here.
We're escorting the negotiating team to the surface as soon as they come down from the bridge. I don't want to interrupt some important work. I was just hoping to see you before I go. The captain and the others will be here any minute now. Should be an interesting ride down to the surface.
Come on, I'm never too busy to make time for you.
That's not true.
No. but I am glad you came by.
Now that's more accurate.
I gotta be precise with you, huh?
Hey, Maris. Aren't these those button pushers you're always hanging out with?
And you're the phaser jockeys we always beat in Parisi squares, right?
All aboard for Hotari.
That another one of the captain's railroad things?
Gotta be. I just usually zone out by the time he gets to the whole, steam engines were the warp drives of their day part. Catch y'all later.
You don't want to miss your train.
I do have to go. Not gonna lie, I'd rather not leave right now. More important things on my mind.
Should I kiss her? Fuck it! She allowed it. Okay, that's long.
That was nice.
Yeah, it was.
Save some of that for when I get back.
You got a deal.
Be seeing you.
Yeah. Lower decks dalliance. Oh, that's the one I was thinking. That's the one that they were saying about for the trophy. That's not what I thought it was. Hold on, folks. Choose to date. Oh, okay. I was thinking someone else. I got people's names confused. Okay, so you could be platonic. So this is common. Well, shit, I should have done the platonic one. Oh, well. I was thinking Miranda was someone else. So, yeah. I got confused. Okay, stop it. Stop it. Stop at me. Stop at me. Okay. Stop going to her. Miranda won't soon forget her romantic kiss with Carter when they were saying goodbye in the docking bay. Hee hee. Tee hee hee hee.
Carter Diaz. If you could float back down to reality, we still have a ways to go. All right, where were we?
So, the warp coils in the navigation array are fine, but the nav computer doesn't seem to think so.
I'm out of ideas short of field stripping the shuttle from bow to stern.
You wanna take this out of the shuttle and throw it on the bench?
Oh, real hands-on maintenance. I like it. Okay, the nav computer is patched into the ship.
The ship's computer can double-check our work. If the shuttle's nav computer is putting out false data, we'll know it.
Let's run through the shuttle's logs again.
Okay, what random button pushes do I have to do? Alright.
Same. Warp field inversion and a cascade failure. However, the Resolute computer doesn't show the same subspace variance.
We're in the same conditions that the shuttle was in when it failed. Why wouldn't the ship's computer get a matching result?
What if the subspace variance was a momentary occurrence?
That's a possibility, and it would explain why the simulation under our current sensor readings failed to reproduce the issue.
But a subspace anomaly strong enough to cause a warp field collapse would leave graviton ripples for
like
days.
A funky green
Let's
storm?
run with the momentary subspace variance theory for now. Roll forward to the shuttle's attempt to re-engage the warp drive. We need the conditions of space around the shuttle at the moment of warp failure.
Resuming simulation.
Error in warp field calculation. Cochrane formula variables are out of range.
I thought that said cocaine, not Cochrane.
Computer, why did the warp field calculation fail?
Warp field pressure returned non-orthogonal. Results are undefined.
That doesn't help.
Wait, what if we use a different ship?
Put the Resolute into the simulation instead of the shuttle.
Yeah, it should warp just fine. Unless... Computer, Run the simulation with the Resolute.
Resolute simulated.
Computer, give me manual control on the warp power.
Static field intensity, warp 1.1. 1.2.
1.3.
3. Warp pressure is destabilizing. Error in warp field calculation. The warp drive has experienced a system-wide cascade failure. Warp field collapsed. Subspace variance is out of tolerance. Cochrane formula results are undefined.
Not cocaine, Cochrane.
What-o?
The same moment when the shuttle failed to warp, so did the ship. Whatever happened to the shuttle just happened to us. The Resolute will not sustain warp.
We can't leave Hotari space.
Uh-oh. The plot thickens. Someone doesn't want us to leave Hotari space. Or anyone. A time for negotiations. I don't know what if we name that. Gosh, I don't want to negotiate. I'm gonna have to do that. Seat of power. I'm gonna have to do that for my freaking apartment. Ugh.
Ambassador Spock, Captain Solano, welcome to Hotari. We are honored you have come. My name is Tyler Saltaris, Minister of Diplomatic Affairs.
The honor is ours, and this is Commander Jara Rydek, First Officer aboard the U.S.S. Resolute. You'll find she has a keen mind, and unique insight into the dynamics between the Hotari and the Illydians.
We're honored to be here, as representatives of the Federation.
I'm so glad.
These must be the representatives of the mighty Federation.
Uh-oh.
The reigning authority in the galaxy. Or so we've been led to believe. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen. But, either way, we're grateful you've made the time to come to our little corner of the universe.
And you are?
This is Galvin, and this is Citron, the heroes of the revolt in the mines.
Uh-oh.
Let's hope this is the last time we ever have to come here.
If you'll excuse me.
I think we're about to begin.
Did you hear the arrogance from that guy? I don't know what we're walking into here, but that guy was something.
Something about his tone tells me this won't be easy.
That was my sense as well.
I doubt he speaks for all of Hotari, so I would urge patience until we speak with their queen.
Fair enough. But... What was that? Fuck. Would they be someone who would you need to show strength to? I'm gonna show strength.
Ambassador Spock, welcome to Hotari Prime.
The honor is mine, Your Majesty.
That the Federation would send one of their most respected representatives is not only an honor to the Hotari people and their queen, but a recognition of our stature and importance.
Let's get on with it, shall we? With all due respect to the Federation and their ambassador, they have no authority here. We are not members of their alliance. We are not subject to their rule, nor yours. We demand the immediate return of all mining operations to Elydian control.
Oh, I didn't know I can move.
And will be for centuries
Which makes
more.
weird. Oh, I
That has
don't like
always
it.
been our
How do you make me?
That understanding has changed.
Then you invite war.
And if you cannot remain silent, you will be silenced.
I'm not moving my head.
But his point is well taken. What is the Federation's interest in this matter? Perhaps you would have us trade one oppressor for another?
The Federation remains neutral. Our only interest is the peaceful resolution of this conflict. We are here at your request, Your Majesty.
For now.
Saying this wouldn't be easy was an understatement. I thought they wanted us here.
Was there something you wanted to say, Captain?
Oh, no. My apologies.
And what about the Kobliad?
She's not
She
part
can
of...
speak for herself, can't she? Then let her. Now then, one should know their place. What you might be somewhere else is not what you are here.
Damn, I should have showed reverence.
Which is standing before a queen.
Yeah, I should have done reverence. I wasn't sure if they would want to show strength.
A bow is not too much to ask.
Damn it.
Is Hotari Prime, heart of the Hotari system.
My apologies, Your Majesty. I meant no disrespect.
Better. You are Kobliad. Your people suffered brutal treatment at the hands of the Cardassians. Their injustice towards the Kobliad is as unimaginable as it is unforgivable. Not unlike how we have been treated by the Elydians.
As much as they'd have you believe they are the victims here, remember it was the Hotari who attacked us. Hundreds of innocent Elydians were slaughtered without mercy in those mines.
The blood is on their hands, not ours.
Quiet! If after all the Kobliad suffered, you finally had the chance to right that wrong, to get out from under their control, would you take it? Or would you negotiate a peace?
Fuck this game. That's good. Alright. I can do the neutral option and say I can't speculate on that. I'm going to be neutral.
I can't speculate on something that never happened, Your Majesty. Sadly, that opportunity never came for the Kobliad.
No, it did not. But we'd be wise to learn from their example, before we too find ourselves facing extinction. The Federation is the most powerful, most advanced alliance in the galaxy. It's widely known we have an abundance of dilithium in our mines. And it's in your interest to secure a steady supply.
Your Majesty, if I may.
Ambassador Spock would have us believe you're here as a neutral party in the interest of peace. So why are you really here? I want the truth. Not your Federation rhetoric.
As Ambassador Spock has said, we've come seeking a peaceful resolution to this conflict. and have no interest in your dilithium.
I'm not nearly as naive as you must think. The Federation has done business with the Illydians for decades, which makes me question your motives.
What they haven't said, but cannot deny.
Fuck you both. Pastor Spock thought Jara performed well under pressure when she was being questioned by the Hotari Queen. Captain Solano thought Jara handled a complex situation as well as could be expected when the Hotari Queen put her on the spot in the Queen's chamber. Okay.
It's a simple truth. The dilithium trade would not and will no longer exist without a Lydian involved. We created it for the benefit of everyone, especially the Hotari. We've given them warp technology. We've let them share in the profits. We've made their lives infinitely better than before dilithium was discovered. All of that goes away if the Federation turns a blind eye to their treachery.
That is enough of your lies! The Hotari are quite capable of running the mines. We've done so for centuries. So tell me, who deserves control of the dilithium trade and the mines on town?
Oh, God.
Who should the Federation recognize? The Hotari or the Illydians?
So, I would personally say the Hotari. Because they're the ones that are doing the manual work. I mean, obviously the Lydians are doing whatever scientific or whatever scenes, but we're in their court. Also, 69% of people say this, apparently. And I'm going to do it.
Can only be one or the other, not both.
Fucking A.
If I have to choose only one,
Hotari pride.
it would have to be the Hotari.
Well said. How could the just and wise Federation make any other choice?
This is an outrage. The Federation has lost all credibility.
The mines are ours. Lydia will not be deterred. We will take back our mines by any means necessary.
Then you will see more blood spilled.
I am more than willing to address your concerns, Your Majesty. Yours as well, Representative. But I suggest we could have a more productive conversation with a smaller group. Perhaps only the most essential representatives.
I suppose there is some sense to that. I hope we meet again.
Commander Jara Rydek, Your Majesty.
It's been a pleasure, Commander Rydek.
Spock and I will cover everything on the diplomatic front. You make nice with the locals and see if you can get some answers. We need to find out why the Hotari are so willing to risk war. What happened in those mines?
Oh, okay, you don't want to talk, so I'm not gonna run. I forgot you can do a sideways walk. Hello! Would you like to talk, good sir?
Such rough terrain. No wonder the Hotari are so tough.
Really?
soothing.
Okay.
Commander, I'm glad you've chosen to side with the Hotari. I knew the Federation would see through the Elydians' baseless claims and protect the interests of my people.
Even though the Hotari should have control of the mines, some of the Elydian claims are still valid.
There you're wrong, but we can agree to disagree.
I assume you were there the day the mines were seized from the Elydians.
Not seized. Reclaimed. And restored to their rightful owners. Yes, I was there. We had to be decisive. Before the Elydians could even realize their worst nightmares upon them.
I'm curious why the Elydians haven't fought back. They have the ability to retake the mines anytime they want.
Ability is one thing. Courage is another. The Elydians know any hostile action on their part will not end well. They respect one thing above all else, and that is force. The greater the force, the more certain the outcome. Any talk of making peace is just that, and worth little without the strength to secure it. Which makes me wonder about your ship, the Resolute. Undoubtedly the Federation's finest warship. Ready to contend with anything the Elydians might have in store. Or is that not true? Maybe I've misjudged it.
I wouldn't say state-of-the-art, but the Resolute is plenty capable and can hold its own against just about anything.
Let's hope so. Because at the moment, it's the only thing preventing them from wiping us off the map.
Cedron.
A pleasure meeting you, Commander. I'm sure we'll cross paths again.
I'm probably not telling you anything you don't already know, but these negotiations rely on the Federation's neutrality, as does any hope you might have for a supply of dilithium in the future. So, why you would choose to side with the Hotari escapes me. Without Elydian involvement, there is no dilithium trade. But clearly, you weren't aware.
We are and will remain completely neutral. Our only interest is the peaceful resolution to this conflict.
As is ours. Of course, the question is, at what price? Major Solid Arminta, Special Attaché, Elydian Armed Forces. Pleasure to meet you, Commander. I have my issues with the Hotari, but I have to give them some credit. They know how to seize an opportunity. Inciting an uprising the same day as a massive once-in-a-lifetime ion storm.
Our assumption was that this storm was just an anomaly.
Yes, a very convenient anomaly. At least, that was what we were told. Of course, I wasn't there. But who am I to say otherwise?
You sound skeptical.
Well, the official story is that it was the storm that enabled the revolt. How else do a bunch of unarmed, unorganized miners seize control of an entire moon, much less thousands of mines? But I've talked to people who were there. They tell a different story. They say they're lucky to have escaped with their lives. That it was more than just the storm. That somehow the miners were able to harness the energy from the storm. I know it sounds crazy. I'm not even sure I believe it myself. But that's what they said.
You just answered your own question. How do a group of miners do something that in theory can't be done? That's how. Harnessing the storm.
But even if it's true, How does that even happen?
You tell me.
If you'll excuse me, Commander Rydek.
To figure that one out.
Commander, if I could have a quick word with you.
Of course.
I'm encouraged to see the Federation supporting my people. I'm afraid of what might happen without your help.
If anyone deserves thanks, it's Ambassador Spock. No one is more invested in negotiating a peaceful settlement to this conflict than he is.
I'm so glad. We need his help before the situation escalates further than it already has. It's been very trying. I saw you speaking with the Elydian. I'm sure they're painting themselves as the victims.
The Elydians are under the impression the Hotari are somehow the cause of the Ion Storm.
Which I'm sure they attribute to our lack of experience or sheer inferiority. But we are as much the victims of this horrific storm as they are. For the first time in our history, the Hotari have the upper hand. We see ourselves as strong instead of downtrodden. New voices have risen up. Old voices shouted down. Galvin and Sidron have become national heroes. Now they have the Queen's ear. Better or worse, depending on your perspective.
I take it they're against a negotiated peace with the Elydians.
Heroes tend to want more of what made them heroic. If it were up to
Slash
them, they'd wage
slash.
all-out war,
Or pew pew, depending upon what weapon.
upon us all. My fear has been that the Elydians will launch an attack and crush us. You've seen their starship, no doubt. They could have retaken the mines whenever they wanted to, but it never happened.
Something's missing.
And as strange as this may sound, I'd almost say they're afraid. I just don't know what they're afraid of.
Yeah.
It's still the same bluster and bravado you would expect from them. But it has no teeth. Like they're afraid of what might happen.
What's Galvin? Who's Galvin? Am I... who the hell's Galvin? I don't know who that is. It's not the
Do you think it has something to do with the Ion Storm? Right now, it's stronger than ever, isn't it?
It's entirely possible. I'm not a scientist, but I do know the storm has knocked out all kinds of systems. So maybe the Elydians weren't willing to risk their ships, given all the interference. Since the day of the revolt, Galvin has seized control of the mines and restricted all access.
Okay, Galvin is
No one's
okay.
allowed without his personal authorization.
Okay, he's one of the
They've
two
taken over
guys.
a section
Okay.
of the palace with just as much secrecy and security. I'm told it could be something they brought back from the mines. I've made inquiries, but everyone pretends it doesn't exist. I strongly suspect they're hiding something.
Why would they do that?
I don't know. But that's what concerns me. Whatever they're hiding, it can't be good.
How can we know?
I'd better see what's happening.
Do you think you can find out what they're hiding? I need to see proof of something before I can make my case to the Federation.
I can try, but even if I found it, I might not know what to make of it.
Take this. You can use it to capture whatever you find, and then send it to me.
Thank you. I will let you know what I find. And I look forward to our meeting again.
Okay. Playing diplomat! Ah! As I walk oddly. Where is he? Hold on. Where? Oh, he's over there. Okay. I don't know where I'm going. Am I allowed to go in there? Wait. Oh, there's something I missed. Why did I forget to look? Oh, the banner. Banners. So about that latte.
They seem proud of their culture. Pride can lead to rash action.
That's why I don't have pride in my... Never mind. Also, I've been told that pride is a sin. Yay, due to one priest in my religion that has stuck with me for the entirety of my life. I try to help others, not myself. For good or for ill.
Well, that was a disaster.
What happened?
The Hotari refused to concede anything, so the Elydians stormed out.
The Hotari did not invite us here as peacekeepers. I hope your efforts were more fruitful than ours.
Did you as witnesses? Next time on Star Trek, Resurgence, sorry. Insurgence.
Gravitational harmonics failing to resolve. Warp bubble stability degrading. Increase output to maximum.
Increasing warp output to maximum.
It's happening again.
It is evident that presently, the Resolute cannot achieve warp propulsion.
Since our diagnostics rule out any problems with our warp systems or anything about the ship, the problem appears to be the fabric of space itself.
Space itself? You're saying something about this region of space prevents warp travel?
Prevents it, or can't sustain it.
However improbable, that appears to be the case.
We need to know more.
The storm didn't stop us from leaving space dock and traveling here. But could it still be causing this interference with warp travel?
We must follow sound investigatory principles. Do not let an assumed conclusion drive your analysis.
Sometimes we need a little inspired thinking, Mr. Chovak. Captain Solano is on his way back from the negotiations, and I want to have some answers for him when he gets here.
Indeed. Given the facts at hand, we may be able to deploy subspace probes around the ship.
I thought about that answer too, the first one.
Around the ship. I'll prep a shuttle.
He has a goofy, dorky smile. I like it. The scientific method. On Star Trek Resurgence. I gotta keep doing that because they're acting like it's another episode, so I have to sound like it, folks. You just gotta.
I'm setting up a waypoint at a distance roughly corresponding to the edge of our warp.
See, look at that goofy grin.
When we get there, I'll deploy the first probe.
We got a probe! Probing. Probing. Okay. One of the good things about Mass Effect 2, you got to probe. Okay. F number 3. Alright. Fly the shuttle to your objective to complete a mission. Oh god, no! Use R2 to fly forward, use L2 to fly back. Why would you do those buttons and not direct? Okay. Use R to turn, use L to strafe. What? The storm will push your shuttle around. Stay focused to maintain your course. Oh, fuck a duck. Or fluck a duck.
Commander Westbrook, the Resolute systems are calibrated to receive the probe's readings. We are standing by to reproduce the warp field collapse after the first probe is deployed.
Thank you, Mr. Chovak. We'll be in position shortly.
And, Mr. Diaz, do take care in piloting the shuttlecraft.
Shut the fuck up, sir.
Now is not the time to indulge in the human penchant for joyriding.
What the fudge? Why would you assume I'd do that?
Chovak probably isn't such a fun guy to work for, huh?
Nah, Lieutenant Commander Chovak's not so bad. You know, once you get used to him. And, I've learned a lot working under him.
I have a feeling I'm going to have to work harder to be a political animal like you. This new first officer coming aboard.
Can I go through this circle? I doubt it will allow me to fly around the side. I believe I saw someone try to do that and it failed miserably on his part. Could be wrong on that. Okay, I don't like how close it is on that side. Oh, I did it. Huzzah! Probing.
Transporting the first probe into position.
Probing.
Westbrook here. The first probe is deployed.
Understood. We are reading it. We are about to replay the simulation.
I just can't get a handle on her. Commander Rydek. She rejected my plan to use a deflector pulse against the storm surge. But on the other, she did listen to my advice and use the whole polarity trick to get you through that excursion alive. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the new XO. I'm sure she's a fine officer, even if we don't see eye to eye. But she didn't go through what the rest of us did. You know that. And it's hard to figure out why she'd be the one Solano chose instead of, well, one of us.
I've heard some good things. You should at least give her a chance.
I'll take that under advisement.
Test is running. Warp field collapse in 3, 2, 1, mark.
What the fuck was that?
Whoa. All right, that is definitely a problem with the fabric of space. We need to get another probe out there.
Probing.
With 2 points of data, the Resolute and the probe, we've managed to get an interference pattern. I'm setting a waypoint to a particularly strong area of interference. We'll deploy the second probe there.
Do I have to fly over there? Fuck you, game.
Listen, I'm gonna give you a piece of advice I wish someone had given me. Make sure you're never just one thing. Don't get so focused on what's in front of your face that you lose sight of the big picture. Before Rydek showed up, the captain pulled me into his ready room and told me he didn't think I had the people skills to be first officer. What a load of crap. I mean, if he'd said that about Chovak, sure.
Is that why you're being so friendly to me? Politics?
That would be clever, but I think you give me more credit than the captain does. You're all right, Diaz. And you've got potential. You're a capable engineer.
Shut up!
Good work.
I'm trying to steer!
A solid jack of all departments like you could be commander-in-chief of Starfleet one day. Hell, Admiral Jellicoe started as a shuttle pilot. And there are places to go in the enlisted ranks, too. Of course, if you get an officer's commission, they'll put you on another ship.
You know, I'd be the best leader Starfleet ever had. Lower decks always have to fix all the problems command causes. Maybe I just save everybody some steps.
Well, don't forget about us little people when you're running things.
Of course not. You gotta remember where you came from.
Yay! Oh, I see it on the bottom screen somewhere. Okay, can I fly in the middle? Straight for the middle! Straight for the middle! Yeah, I see you! But I'm there, okay.
This is close enough.
I see that rock. I see that asteroid, not whatever I said. Android, and then I wanted to say asterisk a moment ago. Probing. There we go.
Westbrook to Commander Chovak. We're ready for another sampling of data.
Very good. Running the simulation again. Warp field collapse in 3, 2, 1.
There it is again.
I saw it. It seems to be directional.
Well, what about the scans? Anything?
Nope.
Here's the readings in relation to our local space. We've got the Resolute, Otari Prime, and the probes.
How this interference is overloading the sensor buffers. We're gonna have to triangulate the sensors manually.
Am I clicking on anything, or... I don't understand what I'm doing. Move...
We got something.
Oh.
These markers.
Okay, so I had to click even though it didn't indicate to click with R2.
Let's see if I can find some more.
Oh my gosh, really? How do I find what I'm looking for? I'm just clicking blindly, folks. Because I don't know what I'm doing. Oh.
Hold up. This is coming from the moon.
Beam that blocks warp travel.
Aimed right at us.
Someone is doing this intentionally. I don't know how they're doing it. This is like nothing I've ever seen.
Why would they be doing this? We came here to help these people. And now we're getting hit by some warp-killing weapon?
Now, look here. Current readings of the ion storm.
These concentrations. They line up with the interference pattern. The storm. And this beam, they're coming from the same place.
Carter, whatever petty local conflict brought us here, it's just a small part of something much bigger.
Boom, boom, boom. Next time on Star Trek Resurgence.
Presently, we don't have an
Suspicions.
One thing is clear. This is no fluke.
Thank you, Mr. Westbrook. I want a full briefing when I'm back on board. Solano out.
A targeted weapon that inhibits warp travel. Coming from the moon Tau.
That would explain the difficulties my shuttle encountered. More importantly, the tenor of the Hotari during the negotiations.
Here I thought the Illidians would be the problem. Coming to peace talks in a warship. This wasn't supposed to be so complicated.
For all their posturing, every indication is that the Illidians are afraid of the Hotari. They didn't bring their warship as a threat. They brought it because they're scared.
From everything we witnessed, I would say that is highly likely.
But what are they afraid of?
Tyler?
Oh, you know what I forgot to do, folks? Commander Westbrook enjoyed the conversation with Carter, coming away with the impression he's smart, pragmatic, and confident in his knowledge of the warship. Okay.
The Hotari representative said she thought they found something in the mine. Galvin and Sidron brought it back to the palace, but they're keeping it under tight security. She's going to investigate it. I gave her my tricorder. I expect she'll contact us soon.
You found an ally.
Why would Tylus help us? Go behind her people's back? It's a fair question, considering.
She doesn't like the way Galvin and Sidron have been manipulating the situation. And the Queen. Working with us to go around them isn't the same as betraying her people.
That may be true.
She's certainly more likely to help than the other Hotari we've met.
That raises another question. Specifically, what do the other Hotari have to gain in bringing us here, only to make this hostile maneuver against us? There must be some motivation.
Unless they changed their minds between when they asked and when we got here.
Sidron was very curious when we spoke outside the Queen's chamber. He wanted to know all about us, our ship, the Federation. He wasn't giving any answers. He was looking for them.
Well, I'm sure you didn't tell him too much. I don't think the Elydians know what's really down on that moon either.
Major Armintis said the revolt defied explanation. That the Hatari miners somehow harness the energy of the storm.
Harness the energy of the storm?
Doing that is beyond even our capabilities.
So is a weapon that disrupts warp travel.
There have been civilizations and entities, both past and present, far more technologically advanced than the Federation.
Oh, yeah.
Elydians and Hotari don't fall into that category.
But that is all the more reason to investigate further.
Probing. Sorry.
Commander Rydek, sorry to interrupt. We've received an urgent call from Hatari. The Queen's advisor, Tylus, has asked to speak with you.
Put her through.
Galvin and Citron are still with the Queen. I've enlisted help to gain access to the room they have under guard. I don't have much time.
I'm not supposed to leave my post.
It's only for a moment. I so appreciate your help.
I found something. I'm sending you a scan.
Got it. Tylus, if we needed to gain access to the mines on Tau, is that something you could help us with?
I suppose it wouldn't be easy, but I have to go.
Tylus.
Can we reconnect?
Sorry, Captain. We've lost all contact.
We can only hope she escaped without harm.
Seriously.
It's hard to tell.
I feel bad.
I'm the one who got her into this. If something happens to her, it's my fault.
She's one of the Queen's closest advisors. I'm sure she'll be fine. Assuming the Queen isn't part of it. Let's see the scan of whatever...
Hey! Captain Solano liked how Jara took responsibility for any danger Tylus might encounter by helping the Federation. Interesting.
Tylus suspects this came from the mines on Tau.
It appears to be of ancient origin, but the markings are unfamiliar.
We can run a full analysis when we get back to the Resolute. But if this came from the mines, then it might be the key to how they got the upper hand against the Elydians.
Then we have to go into the mines.
The Federation would not allow that. We're, after all, sent here to be a neutral party in a peace negotiation. However,
just music.
We could demonstrate that the Hotari have acted in bad faith, which would enable us to investigate the mines on Tau with full justification. But of course, we would need conclusive proof before taking action. Otherwise, it could put us...
We'll go with the top option, even though I don't think it's the best. I don't like the other two answers.
In a difficult position.
Whatever this artifact is may be proof enough. At least to satisfy the Federation.
Especially if we can show the Hotari are controlling the warp disruption. And targeting the Resolute.
We may have a better understanding once we analyze the device. But a mission to the mines, covert or otherwise, is not out of the question. And I will handle the Federation.
My years of experience have allowed me to make them listen to me.
As I was telling Carter, I want all the data I can get on this warp problem. And the negotiating team's shuttle has been recording data all the way back from
containment protocol.
Even better than our probes. So pull the sensor and engine ISOs from the Melville when it sets down.
Will do.
I'll join you and Chovak down in engineering to run another analysis after the briefing.
I didn't like this warp problem when we thought it was some astronomical anomaly. And I like it a hell of a lot less now that we know someone is doing it to us. How does it work? What do we even do about it?
You say we pull these chips and find out?
Stop thumbing your nose. It's annoying.
Took some damage on the way.
Dummy.
That ionic interference scored the hull plating. Might be some micro welds. Let's try pulling together.
All right.
3, 2, oh.
1.
What?
It won't budge.
Yeah, I was
Gotta
like,
be the storm damage.
Working. I actually was playing that like she counted when I was counting. Too.
Welcome back. Any excitement down on the surface?
Excitement? No. Nothing like that.
Hey, can you hand me the EJ7 interlock? From the toolbox.
I don't know what that is.
Ma'am? 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 What do you mean no excitement? You were there. Ma'am?
Not much use for one on a security detail, huh? Carter?
Yeah, I'll get it.
Weird.
Okay, I'll apply pressure while you decouple the panel.
Oh, psh. Don't put the recto over there. Reticule, not recto. Sorry, recto something else, folks. Just FYI.
Here, I'll help.
I should know something at least. Sorry, that sounds bad.
We've got this.
Open up and say ah.
Thanks for the hand. We have to get these isolinear chips down to engineering.
No problem. You really know everything about these ships, don't you? The tools, the systems. Like a walking Starfleet technical manual.
Well, I wouldn't say everything, but I know my stuff.
I can see that.
God damn it, woman. I don't want to sound like I know everything. Miranda noticed Carter's usual confidence was tempered by some much-needed humility when she returned from her. I'm sorry that I didn't act professional, but... Oh my gosh.
Come on, start pulling chips.
Stupid woman. What? Oh, L2. What? No. Jigglypuff. 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 Oh, scheisse. Jiggly. Whoa! Puff.
Some kind of crystal formation?
Where is it? Mother... There it is. I can't... There it is.
Whoa.
You have to hold on to it.
This substance is a quantized spin crystallization of hydrogen, carbon, and lithium. It's emitting tetrametric pulses at an interval of 3.8422 seconds.
Quantized crystallization isn't natural. I mean, it's only theoretical as a means to engineer matter on a subatomic level. What's it doing in there?
I'm gonna pick it up with my hand. No! No! I want gloves! I want a tool! Don't you dare make me... Fuck you, game. No!
Wait.
Thank you.
Regulation 364, subsection 9.
What?
Regulation 364, subsection 9 orders that in the case of an unknown foreign substance infiltrating a sealed system, it will be placed in secure confinement before further examination. Retrieve a containment module.
Don't you think we're more equipped to deal with whatever this is?
No. Before anything else, this is a security issue. You don't even know what this is.
Which is why we need to study it.
Once it's contained.
Well, if it's not natural, then someone might have put it there. It could be a tracking device. Some kind of sabotage. Or even a bomb.
Which is why we need to get it to the containment lab.
Come on.
I can't make an exception. Not even for you.
I'm still going to report these crystals to Commander Westbrook when we send the shuttle data.
And I will inform my superiors. I'm taking this just as seriously as you are. But I overheard talk about the warp disruption on the shuttle. Now these crystals? Maybe this situation is more than we can handle with just a science vessel. We could trigger a distress call, get Starfleet to send more ships. Or I could send a message to my old CO on the Adirondack. Get some... combat tested. We shouldn't do this alone.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. If you think you could do it without getting in trouble.
I'll find a way.
Be very careful.
Yeah.
Okay, stand back. Get this to the containment lab. We'll get it set up for you. I'll let you know when it's safely confined.
Oh, we'll be there.
Last thing you want is to study this down in main engineering and have it explode next to the warp core. Almost forgot.
Can't have that.
For a second, I thought she'd gone cold on you. Like she might have changed her mind. But I guess this whole situation has her spooked. Maybe she knows more than us? Or it's because this is all happening so fast? But she usually doesn't scare easy.
Yeah, there was something a little off about her.
Like that talk about sending a distress call? That was pretty out there. Although, you didn't seem to think so.
Ah, god damn it! Etzelar noticed how Carter shared her suspicion when Miranda returned from Hotari.
She was probably just thinking out loud. I'm sure she'll come to her senses. This mission has enough complications stacking up.
Now, we'll get through it. You, me, and Miranda too.
Did we pick up the one that was dropped? Probably. It was a red chip. Symbols and legends.
Was able to work behind the scenes.
This might be the last one, folks.
I made contact with a representative from the Hotari
Also, I just realized I have not used the restroom in almost 2 hours. That's scary. I did drink water.
Under tight security within the Hotari palace.
TMI?
She believes
I don't
came
care.
From the mines on Tau. Now, this artifact might have a connection to the revolt, to the storm, and to the warp disruption we now know has been targeted at the Resolute.
Tomorrow I need to, after I have another interview for work,
Tylus managed to infiltrate the heavily guarded location within the palace and sent us these stones using my
I have to
tricorder.
clean some stuff and,
It appears to be some
and
sort
put
of
stuff
control
away.
point, possibly connected
CDs
to
and
the warp
games and
disruption weapon
DVDs
originating on Tau.
and
Of particular
dishware and
interest
stuff.
is this symbol, which we couldn't identify the
Thanks, I
origin
was
of.
cleaning my drawers to put the stuff away.
Federation database has records from a vast number of civilizations. If anyone from Starfleet has come across this before, the system should recognize it.
Cross-referencing with Federation records.
Displaying symbols from Federation database with a 90% probability of match or higher. Select a symbol to further analyze.
Oh, god damn it. Find a matching symbol. Federation database. Okay. Oh my gosh, how many of these symbols are there? Wait. Oh, it was that. Okay. Wasn't sure.
99.2% match.
Okay.
Got it.
I was right. I wasn't sure though. Tekon Empire.
So, what are we looking at?
The design and composition indicate this is a glyph associated with the ancient Tekon Empire. Their civilization collapsed over 600,000 years ago, but once spanned millions of systems with a population numbering in the trillions.
Fascinating. The Tekon were once the most advanced, most powerful civilization in the galaxy.
Boom, boom, boom.
Is it possible the Hotari found Tekon technology?
I wonder if they even know what they have.
Our knowledge of the Tekon is limited. I have only encountered passing references to them.
Actually, I've heard of the Tekon.
You have?
Quite impressive, Commander.
Computer, summarize the Enterprise D's discovery of a Tekon outpost.
On stardate 41386.4, the U.S.S. Enterprise
I just BS that answer, I don't know.
Captain Jean-Luc Picard discovered the outpost in the Delphi Ardu system. According to the mission summary,
oh, they cut that out.
Energy draining field was deployed against the Enterprise and a Ferengi ship. The Enterprise was only able to escape after negotiating their release with an entity known as Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Tekon Empire.
Unbreakable energy draining field. It starts to make sense.
What else is there?
There's a lot here. Let's take it piece by piece.
Select the aspect you wish to learn more about.
There appears to be some sort of restriction order from Starfleet. Computer, explain this restriction.
A Starfleet directive similar to General Order 7 forbids entering the Delphi Ardu system or attempting to make contact with Portal 6-3.
Starfleet doesn't throw up a no trespassing sign for just anybody.
I suppose it makes sense considering what happened to the Enterprise D.
The technology to capture and hold the Federation flagship would have to be unbelievably powerful. Computer, what else can you tell us about the energy-draining field the Tekon used?
The Enterprise D was unable to break free on its own. The precise nature of the technology was never fully understood. Only that the crystalline technology used was beyond the comprehension of then-current Starfleet science.
The engineering team found a quantized spin crystal formation in the shuttle you took to Hotari. They registered tetrametric radiation coming from it.
We have Tekon technology on board right now?
We might. I'll run a full analysis in the containment lab.
What sort of planet is Delphi Ardu 4?
Delphi Ardu 4 is an M-class planet,
Delphi. Come on now,
rocky
people.
world with little to no vegetation and frequent ion storms. The giant crystals that grow there absorb energy, but it is not understood how they do so. The entire Delphi Ardu system, consisting of 11 planets, was considered completely uninhabited until the encounter with Portal 6-3.
Frequent.
Why is his name that?
That can't just be a coincidence. Someone from the Tekon Empire is actually still around.
Or at least was, 16 years ago.
Computer, what other information do you have on Portal 6-3, Guardian of the Tekon Empire?
The entity known as Portal 6-3 is of an unknown nature. A biped humanoid, he was unaware that the Tekkan Empire no longer existed at the time of the encounter. He was able to control the crystal-based technology of the Tekkan outpost through apparent telepathic means. It was by his choice that the Enterprise was released from the energy draining field after Commander William T. Riker of the Away Team argued on behalf of both Starfleet and the Ferengi.
Telepathic control of their technology.
As I have said, they were the most advanced civilization in the galaxy.
The Elydians should have crushed the revolt. But if the Hotari have Tekkan technology and can control it, I see why they're willing to negotiate peace. For all we know, this could be just the beginning. And we're up against something greater than we can imagine.
For now, it's probably best we don't let on how much we know.
Play our cards close to the vest. Smart. I agree. Then when the time is right, we can confront them.
Diplomatically, of course.
Right.
Able to triangulate the source.
Also, what was that weird lighting change?
To a specific mine on Tau. Engineering used the latest data from your shuttle to pinpoint its origin. There.
So we know where to look.
We need to know what's down there. What the Hotari are hiding. To better understand what we're up against. And to neutralize it if we can.
Diplomatically.
Captain, embarking on a mission to the Hotari moon would not be viewed favorably by either side. However, given the circumstances, we are entirely within our rights to defend ourselves.
Oh yeah, because we are.
I just want to make sure this.
Because we are trapped and we can't warp out. Yeah.
That's why I'm thinking of sending Commander Rydek on a covert mission in Tau. Assuming you're up to the task. It would require absolute secrecy. And obviously, it's not without risk.
I'll get the Away Team in and out. They're in safe hands with me.
Under normal circumstances...
I'm not doing that right now, folks.
Given the sensitive nature of this incursion, I'm afraid you'll have to go it alone. I'm hoping Tylus can accompany you. The priority is to avoid detection. It's a calculated risk. The last thing we need is to get caught and then blamed for violating our neutrality, aggravating an already tense situation. We can't afford any mistakes, which is why I've chosen you.
Yes, sir. I'll do everything in my power to make sure no one knows I'm there.
Good. Of course, you'll have full support from the Resolute. We'll make sure we take every precaution.
Every precaution.
Get in touch with Tylus and make the necessary...
She didn't like it. I know, she didn't like it. Lieutenant Bedrosian was inspired by Jara's boldness when discussing how to address the Hotari threat during the senior staff meeting. Captain Solano couldn't help but be impressed by Jara's willingness to undertake the mission to Tau despite the evident risks.
Briefly as possible.
Bridge to Captain Solano. The Elydians have moved additional ships to the edge of the Hotari system. Current heading is straight for the homeworld.
Understood.
It would seem we no longer have the luxury of waiting. In that case, may I suggest you and I return to Hotari Prime. Doing so will provide Commander Rydek as much time as possible to complete her mission.
Agreed. We'll hail the Queen's delegation from my ready room. We all know what we need to do. Dismissed.
Next time on Star Trek Resurgence. Seriously, it will be next time, folks. I'm waiting for the next description to pop up before I quit. So. Lost and found. Okay. Wait, how do I... New. How do I leave? Oh, my menu, square. Oh. Okay. Yeah. So the plot thickens. Ooh. the Hotari have some kind of ancient Takan technology. Ooh. And they're able to use the storm to help with subverting and preventing warp drives to, get help or to have people leave and whatnot. Oh, what else is going on? They want their minds back. Okay, that can make sense. But you're right. Yeah, this. But okay. Oh, I'm probably gonna have to shoot people with a phaser or set to stun, not kill. Oh golly. I don't want to deal with this crap. But that'll hopefully be at the start of. Actually, speaking of that, I don't know if I'm going to be playing Sunday because my parents are coming on Friday up here to my lovely place. So I don't know how long they'll be up here for. I mean, like they have anything better to do. They're in retirement. It turns out that some issues occurred when my dad was substitute teaching and ended up losing his teaching, whatever, the job for like the last week or whatever before they were let out. Which, by the by, when does Sheldon? Maybe Sheldon finished classes last week. Yeah. They must have finished 2 weeks ago or something. Anyway, yeah, some weird crap. Whatever. I don't know. The politics of K through 12. I thought it was just K through 6 that were very political, but I don't know. Maybe it's also small town, or I don't really know. Don't know. It was weird. But anywho, I don't know the full story, and I'm not wanting to know the full story. But yeah, they'll be up here, so I don't know if I will be playing Sunday. So if I don't play Sunday night, it will be in a week on next Wednesday. But yeah, we'll continue from there to see what's happening, and will Commander Rydek be able to not get caught and killed? Well, I'll be able to play it right. But anywho, I thank you for joining me tonight, folks. This has been DarkElf85 on YouTube, or HektontheMage on PSN, and I just realized I have not been charging this controller, which I meant to do. FFFF me. And it's on one pellet. Maybe I'll watch some more Sailor Moon Crystal on Pluto. I think it's on Pluto, yeah. No, Freevee, not Pluto. But anyway, this has been DarkElf85 on YouTube, or HektontheMage here on PSN, and this has once again been Star Trek Resurgence. I hope you all have a very good rest of the day, night, or anywhere in between. Stay safe out there, folks, and goodbye. And of course I hit the wrong button. Because of course I did.